we got a common called Inns, I think. Double N, I think it is, S. But anyway, Inns Common, near the lake here in Hamilton, New Zealand. It's very big. It's probably I suppose it's as big as the lake, really. Not sure about that. Very big anyway. A good few acres. Let me just check how big the lake is. Inns Commons says to be 24 hectares. So 48, I don't know, 60 acres. I think the lake is, it might be double that. Yeah, it says it's 133 acres, so a lot more. Anyway, I was walking around Inns Common. Houses on my left-hand side. I was going clockwise around it from the yacht club. And so I'd crossed the road onto Inns Common and just grass. Playing cricket somewhere further over on the right. A couple of groups or one group, not sure. On my left, close to me, were the houses. And I realised, these haven't got any fences between the house and the grass of the common that's mowed, of course. And I thought, how lovely. They open straight onto the common. And it occurs to me laying here, what about security when you've got kids? I mean, kids playing out the front. And you think in an extended family, mature society, well, there's always people in the garden or in the front there. If the weather's nice and there's people in the garden. Wherever the kids are, there's people watching over them. It's not mum and dad, typically, they're very busy, but it's aunts and uncles and grandparents and other people that live in the house because they would be alone and without family otherwise. And the older children are around too, to some extent too. The children are their own security en masse, as a group. I remember in Huntly, New Zealand, Huntly West was basically Maori, and many people on benefit. And the kids play in the street like kids used to in England. Just played in the street together. And they're in groups, families that know families of children, gangs if you like, but just nice groups. And not troublesome. Well, no more than kids are, you know what I mean? Because they're supervised by the older kids. They're protected by the older kids. And of course the older kids know what to do if there's a crisis. They get the parents and, dad comes to the rescue. You don't touch my kids. And mum, well, of course, she'd tear to pieces. But the female of the species is more deadly than the male. Do you see? The family extended, natural, and extended into each other. In other words, a neighbourhood becomes safe. And if there's a stranger, they know the stranger, they recognise immediately. And the group is related to the stranger accordingly. He's monitored. I don't mean he's rejected, but he's closely monitored because you're in our neighbourhood. Do you see? In a mature, natural way, communities are safe. our self-policing. You know, police is a new invention. We had bobbies in, I've forgotten why they're called bobbies. First of all, I think in London, police that were on the street to make sure things were okay. And they were on the street. They weren't in motor cars or in offices. They were on the street walking. And they didn't walk about in bands of groups for strength. Just one was enough. He had the power of the crown behind him. You did what the policeman said. He was a judge and jury on the spot. He told you what you had to do. Now, I don't mean that was the ideal. That was when the ideal was beginning to crumble, and you were coping with cities that were actually not communities. They were overripe communities that had become a bit dangerous, troublesome. Perhaps we ought to have full-time police. Do you see? And police weren't invented to tyrannize the population. They were respected as part of our protection and care. Hence, you know, the London Bobby was loved, valued. Not a pariah, which in our deprived communities he's come to be. He's the fuzz. A nice phrase we used to use in England. This was in the 20th century. The police were the fuzz. Oh, good look, the fuzz. And people would scatter. You know, gangs would sort of dissipate and disappear because the police were on the spot. Vanish. Let me say in passing, I found our police in New Zealand as fine as ever they had been in England. They've been an incredible blessing to me. I don't mean all the police must be as good as the ones I've met, but the ones I've met been a salvation at a time when you need them. Thank you, Heavenly Father. But to get back to where I started, you don't need fences in a mature community of extended family structure. You can semi reconstruct this in the country. Few of you get together like the anandacomyooniteez in the world. I think there's 8 or 9 of them. Might be more now. I don't know how many families, but let me just say for argument's sake, 70 families. They all live in the same close area. It's a haven of community, of people that strive to be in harmony. I don't mean they necessarily succeed it as well as they want by any means, but wonderful really, you know. It's working towards an ideal. It's hard to pull off in the city because relationships are transitory. There isn't the investment in the future. It's like the need for marriage. You need to have an investment, a commitment to stay with each other. You become treasures to each other over the years. You're there for each other rescue and help and joy and life, fullness of life. Kriyananda fulfilled his dream, which was also Paramahansa's dream, of ideal communities. It's Kriyananda's great gift to the world. And he was so greatly reinforced by Paramahansa's same purpose, of course. Thank you, Dad. Lovely. Thank you, Dad.